Welcome everybody to another Web Tools TV. And today our guest is Perry. And Perry, I just realized I don't know your last name. So when you get to the point where you're introducing yourself, I'll let you tell everybody your last name.
Cool.
And also, after you're done introducing yourself, go ahead and tell us about your product. Perry was just telling me before we went live, and it sounds absolutely fabulous. So I know you guys are going to love this episode and hearing what Perry has to share. So Perry, go ahead and introduce yourself. And I don't know if we want to call it product, company, how we want to say that, but
it's a company that has a product, or a couple actually.
Okay, there you go. All right, we'll go for it.
All right, I'm Perry Cook, and I am co-founder and executive vice president of Cadenze. That's K Cadenze and E on the end, and cadenze.com. And I'm also an emeritus professor of computer science and music from Princeton University, but I retired from there a few years ago to do ventures like this. And one of my ex-students, Ajay Kapoor, who is head of music technology at CalArts, talked me into this venture because we've been doing things for a long, long time since he was my undergrad. And I'm a advising faculty member at CalArts as well, so I go down there and do shows and teach and do stuff like that. And
you're all over the place.
I am all over the place. Yeah. I like to say I'm really bad at retirement. So because I had a lot of things going on. But anyway, what is Cadenze? Cadenze is an online arts and arts technology education platform. So if you go to cadenze.com, what you'll first be presented with is a video that tells you about us and gets you excited about learning arts and programming for the arts and tool usage like, sound editing software, Adobe-like products, things like that. But one spin is it's not really professional training. It sort of is, but it's really college courses. And so we launched in mid-June of this year, just 4 months ago.
Still young, very young.
Yeah, we're still young. We've been working on it for 3 years, but so it seems longer to us, but we have to pinch ourselves to say, wow, we've only actually been live with people signing up for courses for 4 months now. And if you look at that, there's a course catalog there, and we now offer about 30 courses from 22 different institutions, including Princeton, Stanford, CalArts, Otis College of Art and Design, School of the Art Institute of Chicago, Paris School of the Arts, either major art schools or art departments. And one of the things we went after actually are the rock star faculty. So the person who wrote the book, or the person who is famous for this kind of design, or the person whose students all go to work for Pixar, or something like that. And so we're really interested in assembling the faculty that you could never put together in a brick and mortar institution, because none of them would all move to Cleveland or even LA. And so, especially LA maybe. And so, so we put this together, and we have, as I said, 30 courses, almost 30 courses. And the interesting thing is that over half of them are available for college credit. So you can choose, if you like, to pay extra and get actual college credit, which is transferable to the institution that offers it. And we're working on the big roadmap of how those credits can be put together to go to different institutions. And so it's still not in place yet, and that's always going to be a changing landscape. But
the cool thing one too, I imagine.
What's that?
And a challenging one. It's not something
very challenging. Yeah. Oh yeah, yes. Dealing with university administration in general, dealing with all of that stuff is, of course, what Ajay and I have done for our whole lives, but never at this scale and never with this variety of players involved. And so it's been fun putting it together, but the cool thing about our platform is that we're a MOOC in that massive open online course structure, in that all the videos, all the lectures are available completely free. So anyone can go there and learn about, programming and processing, or doing visual arts in that language, or using Ableton Live, or using Native Instruments Reactor for studio production. Those videos are all available for free.
So someone could actually go and Like if let's say that a topic is particularly challenging to an individual, they could study that for free and then come back later and say, now I'm going to do it for college credit. And they kind of
Absolutely.
have a head start. It's like, hey, we kind of pre-studied a little bit.
That's absolutely true. And we have a kind of middle level of engagement where you can take the course not for credit, but do all the homeworks, get feedback, and get a certificate of completion at the end. So a lot of people just want that. They want to be able to prove to themselves or their employer that they now know how to use, you know, Adobe whatever, or they've learned the history of modern art. And so a lot of people use it for that kind of thing. And so in order to do that, you have to be a Cadenza member. But the good news is it's only $7 a month. And the even better news is it's $7 for all the courses, not per course. And so it's not a per course accreditation fee or anything like that. It's just be a member, take any course you like, take it at your pace. And when you get done, you'll have certificates of completion for the different learning goals within the course and for the whole course. And you'll also get in your cohort of people who took the course, say over a year's period of time, on your little resume book in your Cadenza portfolio area, you'll get Perry finished in the top 2% of his class. And so it actually says, you know, there's a little bit of that as well. And it's a portfolio book, so you can put other materials there and sort of build up, you know, a resume within our system. And so the idea is to, you know, be a member, be involved, participate in the forums, help other students, chat with other students, chat with the faculty, do that sort of stuff. And so we've tried to build an art school that's global, that's completely online, but with a lot of interaction with other people and things like that as well. And some of the video lectures are quite interactive as well. There's little quiz questions that pop up that you have to answer in order to go on to the next module and things like that. So we like to try to keep people engaged. And we think this notion of having the Rockstar faculty, the topics that are really of the most interest in art schools and arts community in general. And this is pan art. So we started out, primarily the founders are music people. We're music and music tech people. But when we launched, we already had visual arts courses. Today we made an announcement that we're adding a film course. We're adding this history of fashion course. And so we're across all the, yeah, you do, you really do. But the interesting thing about it is that of the community of the arts courses, and as I said, the combination of the Rockstar faculty, the best topics, and really engaging lectures. So one of the other things that we decided to do when we started the company was to build our own green screen studio in LA. And so our faculty make a movie in Los Angeles, and we go to the campus and shoot assets and B-roll. So we basically shoot, you know, the entranceway to the college and the lab where the faculty work and maybe their office and things like that. But when it's all said and done, it's a fully produced, professionally edited with graphics and all of that and music composed specifically for the course. And so it is a production. It's an original production.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah. So that's
the YouTubes and not knocking anyone, but my husband and I are a team, and really the whole quality aspect of it and post-production. And we try to go for the green screen. I actually have a green screen behind me, but so yeah, I really appreciate
I'll let you knock them, but it is pretty obvious that if you go onto YouTube, whatever, or a lot of the other MOOCs, there are quite a few webcams like this, where someone's, you know, just sitting at their desk, picking their nose and talking. And, you know, they could be a genius and the most engaging Nobel Prize winning, you know, MacArthur Fellow in the world. But, you know, today's kids aren't going to, or even adults, aren't going to be very interested in it unless it has some jazz to it. And it's also tightly edited. It's just, you know, the idea that we script our videos and our courses use a teleprompter. And so, you know, even the smartest person becomes completely disfluent when the light goes on, the camera's on, and they're starting to deliver that shtick that maybe they've done for 10 years in the classroom. And it helps you realize how many ers and ums and collecting your thoughts you do when you're lecturing to a room full of people. And that's ephemeral and that passes. But once that's been taped and actually put up as a video lecture, it becomes pretty painfully obvious. And so we decided we wanted to help everyone with that aspect of their teaching as well. And so even the best teachers in the world are really digging our process, because they're saying, wow, I can get this tightly down to exactly what I want to say, and I can have a graphic pop up over my shoulder that displays the stuff while I'm talking about it. And it's just better than what I've been doing in the classroom. So it's yeah, it's pretty cool.
I just about said excellent, and speaking of all the ums, ers, you know, the whole thing. I do post production myself, and actually my husband does some too. But I find the word excellent, and it's like, good grief, he said excellent like 8 times during the whole. But you're right, you start to find that.
We all have that word or phrase that once we've been taped enough times, we realize we say it way too many times, and so it's we help with that. So my own personal course on our platform just launched a week ago. And so that's offered through Stanford, my old lab at Stanford University. And the way the company got started, because I know you're going to ask me this, is that Ajay and I got a National Science Foundation grant about 4 years ago to create a new curriculum in programming for arts majors, so computer programming. So how do we teach artists who want to learn how to program a computer and the concepts of programming in an actual language that they can use for stuff? And so
is this like right brain, left brain as far as the...
It is and it isn't. There's the examples abound with math brain, music composer kinds of things, and the similarity between the two. And so we basically taught a course, created a curriculum called Introduction to Programming for Digital Artists, in Chuck. Chuck is a computer music language that's sort of one of my graduate students created at Princeton, and then he went on to Stanford, and we used it in the Princeton Laptop Orchestra, of which I'm a founder, and the Stanford Laptop Orchestra, and probably more people out there might know. They don't know they use Chuck, but if they use Smule products like Ocarina or Sing or Sonic Lighter or some of those products, of which I'm involved with that company as well.
Your resume must be this.
It's kind of embarrassing. But anyway, Chuck runs underneath some of those apps. And so Chuck is a music language. So anyway, we took this National Science Foundation grant, created the curriculum, and suddenly realized that actually this was the dawn of Coursera and the idea of the MOOC. And so Ajay is head of digital arts and media technology at CalArts. CalArts was talking about what kind of courses could we experiment with in offering as MOOCs, and so this course seemed like an obvious one. So we created this course, and also out of it came a textbook, and so we made good on our grant money to the National Science Foundation. So we didn't just create a curriculum, we created a textbook, and we made a MOOC, which garnered about 40,000 students enrolled in it.
Wow.
And a good number of them actually did something and completed the course. And that experience convinced us that there was one, huge potential in offering certain kinds of courses. Not every course. You can't, it's hard to teach painting in a studio setting with a teacher looking over your shoulder and giving you criticism online. Although some have tried to do that. But there are some courses that lend really, really well to it. And so, as I said, music production using a software tool, that's the kind of stuff that you can watch it, you can do it, and you can submit assignments that can be graded. And so we started, that was the genesis of the idea of Cadenza, is that there's huge potential. That's one. Two,
and very creative.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is, wow, okay.
And two, the arts have been underserved in the MOOC space. So you can go on and find a few courses about the arts, but there aren't really good tools to offer those things. It's difficult to grade assignments and things like that. So that was our other. And three, the overall quality of the whole MOOC, YouTube, teach yourself everything space is so random. We wanted kind of to make a school that was curated and of consistent quality
Yes.
And with the Rockstar faculty who, we either knew or knew of or had friends that knew them. And so we started reaching out to people, and the response was very positive. And so, by that time that we opened our doors 4.5 months ago, we had been talking to people for 2 years, getting them lined up to do courses, to make courses, to get onto our platform. And that meant we had also been talking to university administrators and going through all the contract work and all the stuff that goes with this kind of stuff. And so, it actually came together, and, we were able to launch with a good set of schools and a good set of courses to take immediately. Some of the courses we have on the platform are business and entrepreneurship courses. So there's one called Entrepreneurship for Musicians, and there's one called Careers in Media Technology, and it's basically about what does a product manager do in a music company or in an equipment company. What does QA? How does an actual QA team work, and how does that function? How many jobs are there? Are there 10,000 animator jobs, or are there 3 in a given market?
Right.
And so that's a course that's offered through Stanford. There's a course called Introduction to Project Management for Designers. And so it's basically, how do you budget? How do you estimate hours? How do you budget? How do you do things like that?
At a marketing company, I had a project manager and handling the designers. Yeah, that was.
There you go. So we have a course in that, and so you can take that and learn that if you never knew anything about that. And so one of the things we think our platform is good for is people figuring out if they really want to go to art school. If this is the kind of study they want to do. And also helping them figure out maybe where they want to go to art school, because they get to see what the CalArts campus looks like, and what the labs look like, and what the instructors look like, and how they teach, and how the kind of projects that students do. Because we actually use each course, and especially each promo video for each course. If you go on our platform, each course that's about to launch, that you can enroll for any course that's in our catalog, but when it's approaching a couple of months of actually launching, there'll be a promo video, and it's actually the thing that's to get you excited about the course. But if you look at it, it shows off the school as well. And so we're kind of a marketing vehicle for those schools, and they can show off their programs and use us to, as we say, we're trying to kind of lift all ships. We're trying to do our own thing and keep afloat as a company.
You're helping a lot of people on that.
That's our goal. I mean, our goal is really just to make the world a more creative and informed creative space, where people know kind of what they're talking about when they talk about things. And so
I like that. When you're describing the teaching programming to artists, and I'm actually finishing up, and this isn't supposed to be about me or bragging or anything, but I'm finishing up my PhD in psychology. And there's a course, thank you. We're using the IBM software, the SPSS, to be able to, and I love using it. You fill stuff in there and you start finding the outliers. And so I was all excited to take this course, because I took one in my master's program as well. Well, this one happens to be all about the program, as I call it, the programming aspect. Now, my bachelor's is in programming. So programming is, I can do it in my sleep. So I'm looking at this course going, you realize how, in fact, I talked to my advisor, this course is really expensive, and it is easy, and he came back and he explained, that's what I was thinking, what you're talking about as far as teaching artists on the programming, that's just because I'm a programmer, but my classmates are really struggling with, what do you mean I have to put a period here? And it seems so obvious to some of us, but you have to teach that in a way that it makes sense, because these are psychology majors.
Yeah, compilers and interpreters are so unforgiving, and the average person doesn't realize that. You can't just say, you know what I mean, and have it do it. So
I've lost nights of sleep for missing a semicolon, and the next morning it's like, oh goodness, how could I have
absolutely
this semicolon?
Yeah, but we could totally nerd out on all of that.
So that is awesome, because there has to be a whole approach to that to be able to explain it. I mean, when I'm trying to help my classmates, there's been some that in our discussion, it's an online, and trying to figure out a way to articulate it so that it makes sense to a psychology major rather than understanding that they're not a programmer.
Yep. Yep.
And that's fascinating that you have courses for that. I think that is brilliant.
That's really where we started. And that course is now coming towards its second offering on our platform. And so it's been very, very successful, both in the Coursera space and on our platform. We reskinned it and fixed up some of the assets for it and modernized it even more. But
Wow.
we're actually to the point now where that course, we don't have any prereq structure per se, but my course, which is in signal processing, it's actually on sound synthesis for games and interactive kind of stuff. And so my course recommends that course before you take mine. You don't have to. If you're a programmer who knows any language, you could probably take my course fine. But if you're not a programmer, we highly recommend you take the Chuck course first and then come into mine. And that's worked out really well because we have kind of built-in TAs who are our ex-students who took the course before, who drop into the forums and are answering questions for people, which is wonderful.
Yes.
When there are thousands of people enrolled in the course, I like to see the students helping each other in the forums, because that means I don't have to stay up all night, because it is a global audience. We have people taking our courses from India and China and Russia and all over the place. So
you've got that 24/7 thing. Yeah, it does help if you've got some TAs coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what we had in this other course where all the instructions were all related to Windows, and I'm a Mac person. Well, I'm actually both, and Linux and whatever, but this poor gal was just having so much trouble trying to figure out how to do it on Mac. And that's where it's, all right, let's break this down. This is the Windows instructions. Now I'm going to give you the Mac instructions that match. And that is helpful to have TAs. Yeah. And you can get sleep sometimes, right?
Huh?
Then you get to sleep once in a while. If you have
I do sleep. I sleep quite well. I never know what's gonna greet me in the morning, but I sleep pretty well. It's good.
Well, this is so fascinating. You know, I don't want to get rid of you, Perry, but I want to go check out the website. This has been lovely getting to know you, and hearing about the company. And wow, this is it. It seems like the best of all worlds. There's so many. I won't name competitors, but I was thinking of some as you were talking. It's like, wow, they won up that one. They won up that one.
We don't like to talk ill of our competitors, but had we not seen a need, we wouldn't have spent all this work starting this company.
There you go. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah. Well, where can people find you? Obviously, your website.
Cadenze.com.
Are you on Twitter or any of those?
We are Cadenze Official on Twitter and Instagram and all of those places, I think. So if you go to cadenze.com, and then scroll down, you'll find all of our other social handles and things like that as well. But we have a Facebook group, which you should like, because we post announcements there for new courses and new partners and things like that. And Excellent. Then actually, fortunately, we've been around long enough, and we picked a novel enough name to trademark that if you spell it right in Google, it'll come up with press hits and our webpage and all that sort of stuff. So we and our PR company did well at that, I think. And so there's not a lot of confusion, but it's a lot of autocorrectors like to correct the spelling of Cadenze, because there are other words that are more common that start with C and end with A that are not. But actually, if you just do arts education online, it's likely it will turn us up as well, which is good. So that's good. And keep an eye on us. Do like us on Facebook, and keep an eye on our webpage, and just go on and become a user. It's free. Membership is free for a month. So if you come on and become a member, and you can try it, and then you'll get emails announcing new courses and stuff like that. And we are literally announcing new courses on a kind of bi-weekly or monthly basis, because a lot of the things we've been working on that have been in the pipeline are finally coming, or contracts are finally getting signed and things like that. And so a lot of pent-up excitement that we have, knowing what we're going to be able to talk about soon, is starting to unfold. And Excellent. Then since the day of our launch, we've had about 50 new schools contact us saying, how do we get on board? How do we count your courses for credit? How do we expand our program? How do we offer a course? How do we get your platform to use within our university? which is possible, and things like that. So things have gone really, really well. We're pretty excited.
You're making me wish that I'm not in my PhD program so I could go
So
start
you're
over.
almost done. You'll be.
There we go. That'd be good. And for all of you viewers, Perry actually had a lower third. So the lack of it is a Googleism. Google, I love you, but sometimes it happens. However, I will actually put the links in the description of the YouTube and everything. So
Wait a
that you
minute.
can...
Right, here it is. There it is.
Well, there we go. Excellent.
It's Cadenza. And there's one of
Excellent.
our courses. There's our Chuck course right there.
Excellent. There you have it. Wow, you're creative. I like that, Perry.
We do what we can. I didn't realize I would need that. But
That worked out, though. That helps me. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
great. Thank you, Deborah.
And for all you viewers, we'll see you same time, same place next week.
All right.
Adios.
Bye-bye.